The Las Vegas Aces have a lot of talent on their roster, but that is looking like it might be changing up pretty soon. The Aces did not meet their expectations this season, competing for their third straight WNBA championship. Obviously, New York took them out in the semifinals of the WNBA playoffs, and they kind of did it handily. But what I will say about the Las Vegas Aces in the expansion draft is this. They have a lot of players on their protected list who could be starting on any single roster in the WNBA. Chelsea Gray, Kelsey Plum, Asia Wilson, and then Jackie Young obviously are staples, but I want you to peep one of these names on the projected list. It looks like, well, two of them. Well, one of them actually. Kia Stokes is looking like one of the players that is being projected to be kept. And some of the unprotected names are this: Kirsten Bell, Alicia Clark, Sydney Colson, Queen Egbo, Tiffany Hayes, Megan Gustafson, and then Elizabeth Kitley. Now, if you're Las Vegas, you got to make some real decisions because Liz Keeley is a great player. Obviously, she's coming back from an ACL injury from Virginia Tech. She hasn't played this season, but when she comes back and she's healthy, and from what we've seen, she's been a monster. Meg Gustafson, we've seen her play in Spain and the Olympics, and she absolutely crushed it. Like, she just destroyed competition. You also have players like a Tiffany Hayes who won 6 Women of the Year. And the question is, why wouldn't you put her on the protected list? If they do try and swap out one of these players, whether that be Tiffany Hayes for a Kia Stokes or a Kate Martin, the question is, do you get more from retaining Kate and Kia than you would from a Tiffany and a Meg? Because Meg played minutes last year and she was well. Kate Martin barely got clock on the floor last season. Now, when I believe that Kate Martin is a starting, or if not a starting, a role player in this WNBA. I feel like she's a good role 3-and-D type of player, and she can do a lot of things in the court. But are you willing to risk losing a player like Tiffany Hayes? Because if you're Golden State and you see Tiffany Hayes, you're picking her up because she can come in and get 20, 30 points in any given night. And she, like I said, she just won 6 Women of the Year. She's one of the better scorers in the league. I probably have her as a top 35 player, if not higher. I mean, probably like top 40 at worst. So, again, if you're willing to risk something like that for somebody who you're not playing, again, with the Kia Stokes, if you're thinking about retaining Kia Stokes, a lot of people were upset because they didn't feel like she was the perfect complement to Asia Wilson. And then you have a floor spacer like Gustafson, who, again, when she would play, she'd space the floor. And when she got enough minutes, she would score enough points. Las Vegas, and Becky Hammon spoke about this before the end of the season or at the end of the season during her exit interviews. They're going to have a lot of decisions to make with this roster. They've already lost Tyler Marsh. They have already lost Natalie Nakase. These are 2 assistant coaches. Marsh is now with the Chicago Sky. Nakase is now the head coach of the Golden State Valkyries. So now the question is, and then they lost their GM, Natalie Williams. And this is 2 years removed from losing De'Erica Hamby. So now it's like you keep losing a lot of players. Kelsey Plum is a free agent, and she is one of the targeted players for the Golden State Valkyries. She could be reunited with Natalie Nakase as an unrestricted free agent. There are some things that they're really going to have to iron out and figure out who they're going to want to retain. Because if they know that they're going to lose a Kelsey Plum, you might want to just keep Tiffany Hayes. And if you know you're not going to lose a Kelsey Plum, you still might want to keep Tiffany Hayes. So their core 4 players, it seems like right now they're projected to obviously be retained, including Plum. And again, with Kate Martin, if you have her on the protected list, it's kind of, it could be a tempting pickup for the Golden State Valkyries. So they got to really determine who the six that they want in the building that they're going to retain. Now, if they make the wrong call, the dynasty that they kind of have, even though they lost last season, because you can still win again and be considered a dynasty, some missteps could kind of mess this team up. And the question is, can the Aces afford to lose another score, especially when you have Chelsea Gray, who's getting older, Asia Wilson, who needs help, Jackie Young, who's still in the prime of her career, and Wilson, Gray, and Young are all free agents in the next season. So it's like you really got to make some decisions to maximize what they can do before they're free agents. Question is, who do y'all feel like the Las Vegas Aces should keep on this roster? Let me know in the chat.